I think we good. I think we good. Almost didn't put that on. Think we good. I think we good, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I think we good, y'all. I think we good. Let's get this show started. We running a little behind. Again, I apologize. But I hope y'all feeling amazing, doing well. Let's get this show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I am your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in for episode 231. Cross-platforming on my YouTube and my TikTok. To shout out to both. Major love for tuning and tapping in. We got day ones. We got badge holders already in the buildings. That loyal crew in the building. I'm already seeing it in the chat. Appreciate y'all as always tuning and tapping in. Major love out there. Let's get the show started. Again, I apologize. I was running a little late behind. A whole lot going on. But we here. I'm here. You here. So let's make it count and let's have a good time. Again, let's thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for having the ability to be negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here. Shout out to the chat. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. The chat is in here heavy. Again, I'm cross-platforming on both channels, YouTube and TikTok. For those who are on my TikTok, on my YouTube is at Ashley Lovechild. And for those on my YouTube, if you want to get on the TikTok, it's at Ashley Lovechild Mojo. So make sure y'all stay tuned and tapped in. Also, y'all take advantage of those badges. We got quite a few badge holders in the building. I'm seeing y'all in the chats, in those videos. Y'all been taking advantage. And again, thank you for using them badges. Thank you. And again, I appreciate your support wholeheartedly. Shout out to a couple people in the chat. I'm not gonna say everybody, but some love is due because we got quite a few badge holders, members in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Yes, for a second I thought you wasn't coming on, but we in here. Yeah, nah, I'm in here each and every. Sometimes things happen behind the scenes that I don't share everything with YouTube or things with technical stuff or whatever the case may be. But again, I appreciate your diligence and you staying tuned and tapping. Shout out to Hazel. Love to you, Ashley, and the chat. Appreciate that, Hazel. Make sure y'all go check out that Cover Girl album out on all platforms by Hazel. Shout out to Winter. Hey, everyone. Shout out to King P in the building. We got badge holders in the building, y'all. Shout out to Winter in the building. Yo, all I see is nothing but badge holders. I love it. Shout out to my dog, Rowan Jack, one of our day ones, one of our badge holders, one of our longest lasting badge holders. Both him and King P, y'all both got those black badges. That's saying a lot. That means y'all had it for a long time. And I appreciate you as always, Rowan Jack. And Rowan Jack is one of our mods. So make sure y'all talk to me nice in the chat, cause he gonna keep y'all right. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Paul in the building. We got a big Paul in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. One of our day ones. You already know the vibes, Paul. Appreciate you tuning and tapping in. Rowan Jack, smells like loyalty up in here, USA. It's okay, Ash. We understand you're on culture time. I'm not. It don't be that for real. It's just the fact that I really be having technical difficulties from time to time. That really what it be for real, y'all. It don't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what I show up the party start. You know what I'm saying? It really be that like 99% of the time. I guarantee it. And again, shout out to Paul. Shout out to you always for tuning and tapping in. One of our day ones. Show major love. Make sure y'all stay engaged in the chat. Make sure y'all stay engaged in the chat because it's mad funny in the chat as always on this YouTube, on the YouTube side of it. So make sure y'all stay engaged in the chat. Sometimes my TikTok be like real shy in the chat, you know what I'm saying? But my TikTok, y'all give it up as always. But you know, let's continue to grow on TikTok. All right, y'all, let's get the show started, man. No further ado. First segment of the night, popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. And be on the lookout for that new app. It's currently being worked on where you get music exclusively from OUV Records artists. All right, y'all. First popular opinion question of the night. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right. Most selfish movie character on this list. Most selfish movie character on this list. Number 1, Rose from Titanic. Number 2, Fanny from Rosewood. Number 3, Jenny from Forrest Gump. Number 4, Grace from Sinners. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, most selfish movie character on this list. Again, number 1 was Rose from Titanic. Number 2 was Fanny from Rosewood. Number 3, Jenny from Forrest Gump. Number 4, Grace from Sinners. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Already, y'all going Jenny in the chat. I'm seeing Jenny in the chat already. If y'all know, y'all know. If y'all seen all these movies, I'm pretty sure all of y'all have seen Sinners. Y'all have seen Forrest Gump. Y'all have seen Titanic. I don't know if a lot of y'all is that familiar with Rosewood. But Rosewood, outside of the fact of what's going on in Rosewood, it's not a good movie, but it's a good movie. You get what I'm saying? Like the performing, the acting, the subject matter is a bit touchy and close, but it's a lot of great acting, great actors in the movie. You know, you got John Voight, you have oh my God, y'all know me when I get on live. Sometimes these names become a blank, but Don Cheadle, Melvin from Baby Boy, which I know his name, can't think of Ving Rhames. That movie is star-studded, heavily cast. It's a great movie in the sense of the acting. So I don't know if y'all not familiar with the character Fanny, where she basically told a lie and the town just bodied everybody that was ebony. So that's why, you know, but anyway. So I'm seeing a whole lot of Jenny in the chat. I'm seeing Jenny all up in the chat. Shout out to Rowan Jack, Jenny, Ebony, Fanny, and Paul going Jenny as well. So I'm seeing a whole lot of Jenny in the chat. Again, Grace from Sinners. If you're not familiar with Sinners, she was the one that told the vampires to come in. Again, Jenny from Forrest Gump. I'm saying, like, she gave my boy Forrest the clappers. She cheated on him. She had a whole seed. Then let this man know for years. It took him to show up with a box of chocolates for him to know that he got a seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Left my boy Forrest high and dry. And Rose from Titanic, y'all know she left Jack out there freezing in the water. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. I'm seeing a whole lot of Jenny in the chat from Forrest Gump. Me personally, yeah, I'm gonna roll with the chat. I'm going with Jenny too. I'm going with you. Get again. Had a whole son. He looked out for her, protected her. She was like a porn star, an exotic dancer. End up with the clappers, and could have possibly gave my boy the clappers, and he was basically one of the most interesting human beings ever made. You know what I'm saying? Played for Bama. You know, he in the war. He did all this type of fly stuff. You know, started what he invested in. He invested in Apple. Like he all this fly stuff, and you know what I'm saying. He ended up with a whack person like Jenny. So I'm going with Jenny. The chat is going with Jenny. The rest of the world at 45%, mind y'all, 139,000 people voted on this. Went with number 3, Jenny from Forrest Gump. Again, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that one bit because Jenny was on some BS, yo. She was on some fool, yo, super fooly. And then out of all her years of treachery, she get to die in comforts. You know what I'm saying? Like Forrest ended up buying like a mansion style Victorian house. She get to die in. You know, he buried her outside. The son could get to. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though he's growing up without his mom, but he could visit the gravesite. All types of, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going with Jenny on this. Chat with Jenny, and again, the rest of the world at 45% and over 139,000 people voted on this. My dog Rowan Jack, but she was a strong independent. Rowan, don't start. I'm not even gonna finish that. Yeah, I know I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read anything that comes up on the teleprompter, but I almost read the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Talking about she a strong, independent woman. Yeah, nah, yo, you know what I'm saying? Don't let them lead you down the road of what they call iniquity. Don't let them lead you down that road. You know what I'm saying? That goes for both men and women. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, don't let a dude who don't got himself together, no direction, lead you down that road. And fellas, it's designed for us to be the leaders. If you enlist a woman to lead you, and she leads you to this, you deserve everything that comes with it, bro. I'm just saying, if you know, you know. If you've seen Forrest Gump, you know what I'm talking about. It's just wild. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Most cancer-causing item in your home. Most cancer-causing item in your home. Number 1, processed meats. Number 2, air fresheners. Number 3, cleaning supplies. Number 4, plastic containers. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And mind y'all, all of these are cancer-causing items that I would say 99% of us have in our home. Again, number 1, processed meats. Number 2, air fresheners. Number 3, cleaning supplies. Number 4, plastic containers. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. In the chat so far, I'm seeing plastic containers in the chat. That's what I'm seeing in the chat. People don't realize all of these items are very dangerous and very harmful to our bodies, believe it or not. Think about all these items that I just mentioned, and realistically, we have these in our house. Me personally, when I seen this list, I'm thinking about different ways to buy new plastic containers, because I do keep quite a few plastic containers in my home for, you know, things that, you know, storage, like little small storage things or whatever the case may be. So I'm finding different ways to buy different type of materials to keep them stored, so that way I rid myself of the plastic. And also Tupperware. Tupperware is very harmful. So that's why people use glass instead of the actual plastic. So especially if you don't have little kids in your home, it's very advantageous that you use glass. So again, me personally, I'm going to say processed meats. Even though all of these are very harmful, processed meats is on a whole nother level as far as what we put in our body. They actually paint or spray paint the meat pink and red to make sure that it looks fresh and all that stuff. So be very careful when you eat these foods and have these foods, because they already very dangerous. So again, I went with processed meats. Pause. In the chat, I mainly seen plastic containers. I'm also seeing air fresheners as well. A shout out to Biggs in the building, my bro Biggs in the building, big badge holder in the building, you already know. So I'm seeing a mix of different answers, but yes, all of these are very harmful. All of these are very harmful. So again, I went with processed meats. The chat, it was a mix up in the air. The rest of the world at 49%, mind y'all, over 91,000 people voted on this, y'all. Went with processed meats. Processed meats is serious. It's very It's a benefit after a certain age, y'all. Start reading the foods that you put in your system, even the foods that you've been eating since you was a kid, whether it's foods, candies, different type of supplements, fruits. Do the research on these things before you put these things in your body. They cause so much harm to your body. And you wonder why, like, our uncles, our aunts, our parents, you know, have these cancers so early because of these foods that they traditionally eat. And we think it's healthy because we prepare it a certain way. That's not the only battle. We're not supposed to have those foods at all. Like, one of my favorite foods in the whole world, well, used to be, was baked macaroni and cheese, dog. Like, you could, like, ladies, like, baked macaroni and cheese from scratch. Like, you could hook me with baked macaroni and cheese. Like that used to be my go-to, and I used to eat that on a regular basis. I probably had baked macaroni and cheese maybe one time in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years alone, because I realized the harm that it does to our body. Even the food that most people celebrate Thanksgiving. You're not supposed to eat Thanksgiving food all year round. Most people do. When they say soul food, that candy yams, that baked macaroni and cheese, that barbecue chicken, that turkey. Them foods is heavy. Them collard greens. I mean, it's heavy food, and they do damage to your body. So again, do the research before you start putting these foods in your body, these chemicals in your home, cleaning supplies, air fresheners, plastic containers. I mean, the list goes on and on. But, do the research, because you're doing a lot of harm to yourself and your kids possibly. And we do have some parents in the chat too. Shout out to Third in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Seed oils, yes. Seed oils work very well. Also, if y'all get familiar with white vinegar and apple vinegar, especially that apple vinegar, telling you, it does different things to your bodies. Welcome everyone, please like it. So appreciate Third in the 3 in the building, 311 in the building. Appreciate that. Always love. Continuing from an early age. Yes. Do you eat liver? I don't eat liver. I don't eat liver. I barely eat chicken. I barely eat chicken. I used to eat chicken all the time. I barely eat that now. I've been on my fish, a lot of fish. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fish. And some of y'all may say something sexually, but no, I'm talking about lean proteins as well. So be very aware what y'all put in your bodies, ladies. Rank mac and cheese as a cheat code. By the way, that's ladies that know how to cook, that's an automatic cheat code, ladies. I just want y'all to know that. If you know how to cook, you could hook most men emotionally. There's nothing more surprising than meeting a woman that know how to cook and her food actually tastes good. And don't let her food be like healthy on top of that. She put some healthy things in the food, or it's healthy by itself. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like you climbing, baby. You climbing all the way up like a dual wife or woman that know how to cook for real. That's very true. Very true. Um, Shout out to Rover Jack. I haven't had it in a while, but I've had macaroni and cheese last night. Shaking my head, didn't know. Not see. That's the thing. That's the thing. You can't unlearn these things. So once you know, you know. What you don't know, you don't know. But once you know, you know. I keep telling you, I'm gonna post a picture. I used to be 235 pounds when I played college football, but it was, what I'm saying, it was like this 235 pounds, right? But when I stopped, and some years went by, that turned into 240 on a different side. That turned in from muscle to flubber. So I was 240 pounds of flubber. I looked myself in the mirror one day. I was like, yeah, I don't see myself. And I took a real journey, and I went from 240 to 190, then 190 to 180, 180 to 170, 170 to 160. I'm back up to 175, but y'all see what my 175 is looking like. Like if I take the shirt off, you know what I'm saying? It's real under here. Y'all gonna call me Chester, you know what I'm saying? Not to brag or nothing like that, but I've been on my workout heavy, you know. So, but being healthy in itself is a flex, and not in a flex of like put it on nice clothes or anything like that. It's like about having long life. And because my parents died through health reasons is what triggered my like, yeah, yo, I need to get right, you know. So that's what it was, watching both my parents pass away back to back due to health reasons that stem from food and smoking. Well, my mom, lung cancer, you know, she smoked cigarettes a long time. When she quit, it's still caught her and triggered into, you know. So I'm not going to, which I get the point that I'm making. Then my dad, his heart, so, but it's all stemmed from the food. So be very careful what you eat. You can't unlearn things. So once you know, make proper changes. And even the foods that you like to eat, like even comfort food. Like I used to love Doritos. I found out how they made Doritos. I'm cool. I found out how they make majority of the chocolate that they buy in the store. I'm cool. It's bugs in the chocolate, y'all. It's bugs in the chocolate. Y'all think I'm playing? Go look it up. Do the research. And again, that's why my friends make fun of me for eating healthy. Like my friends are like, "Yo, if you go to Ash crib, ain't nothing but fruit in there. You get some fruit, but you're not gonna get a gourmet meal." But I'm bugging because I got fruit and salad in there. Like I'm tripping. Yo, I'm tripping. I'm bugging because I want to live longer, right? So, but again, when you know better, you do better. A shout out to 33 or 33. Apple cider vinegar is bad? Question. No, apple cider vinegar is not bad. It's not bad. No, 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 no. Do the research. Do the research. I guarantee you, it's not bad. I guarantee it's not bad. Trust me, it's not bad. A little sip of that apple vinegar. It has different properties of the black seed oil, but it helps with your system. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Uh, well, body on your weight loss and feeling healthy. Absolutely. It's about being healthy, not just feeling healthy, right? And even after a certain age, when people eat, they get that bloatedness, right? You could avoid being bloated based on some of the foods that you eat and take that little swig of that apple cider vinegar. You know what I'm saying? Just a little swig. Nothing crazy. Don't sit there and chug a lug that. Just just a half a sip. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be straight. Uh don't like chocolate, don't eat that. Yeah, I used to love me some like candy. So I'm just listing the things that, some of the things I used to eat. Them bugs give me uh, diabetes. Yeah, I have diabetes that run in my family. Diabetes run in my family. My father had it. My grandfather had it. So I'm be damned if I had. And it's crazy and oddly enough, I'm bigger than both my grandfather and father, meaning like in like mass size. Like my father was probably like an inch taller, but he was never like, you feel me? Y'all see it through the jacket. Stop playing. Y'all see it. You feel me? And you know what I mean? And my grandfather, he was yaki when he was a younger man, but he was very short. So you know what I'm saying? Like, feel me? Shout out to the TikTok. All right, y'all. Moving on. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hollywood need to ask us segment. Y'all already know I got better ideas for movies and or a movie series. So my Hollywood need to ask us for tonight episode. I brought this up on the older format, so I didn't format this on the newer format, but I would still love to see a Last Dragon series. Have the Last Dragon move it forward and call it the New Dragon. And you see how they have Cobra Kai and things like that. That's built it that way. So my principal actors for the new version of The Last Dragon, which again I will call it the New Dragon, I'm bringing back Timac. Mac is still out here looking relatively young. He can still bust off the karate moves. If Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone still could chase down dudes, suplex them off cars and trucks at 70, 80 years old, Mac could definitely do it too. All right, he's around their age, or he's probably a little younger, I would say, and he will be able to do a little tussle. So I'm bringing back Mac. I'm adding Kevin Hart to this cast. And y'all like, Kevin Hart? Yes, Kevin Hart. I would actually have Kevin Hart play the new version of Eddie Arcadian. If y'all know about The Last Dragon. Eddie Arcadian is such a great villain. I would have Kevin Hart play this villain, and I think he could pull this off. I would have Rihanna. I would cast Rihanna. She would be my Vanity character, actually. For y'all know who Vanity is, fine ass Vanity. She would be my Vanity character. Instead of her playing, Laura Charles, she would play like the daughter of Laura Charles or the granddaughter of Laura Charles. You see what I'm saying? Or the niece or something like that. But it's creative writing. I can do that. Donald Glover, I would have him in here just based on his acting versatility. Michael J. White is my new version of Sho'nuff. Michael J. White is my new version of Sho'nuff. I need this Sho'nuff to be a whole lot more menacing in 2020 oh my God, in 2026. A whole lot more menacing. I mean, he's already a big guy, and he's going to be a whole lot more menacing. I will also have Maurice Crump round this cast out. So that's my principal cast for the new version of The Last Dragon. And again, I will call it the New Dragon. So basically, Mac, Bruce Leroy, he's basically reclusive, and he has to come out of his surroundings because his son is a known mercenary. He gets into some trouble, and he has to find his son to give his son the glow. And his son is not going to be Donald Glover. No, it's not going to be Donald Glover. But y'all get the point of the story, and then the son finds his true power. Also, my director, I have to go with my old go-to, Ryan Coogler. So I think this will absolutely be fire. The new version of The Last Dragon, call it the New Dragon. And again, it's going to be based on the hit movie, The Last Dragon. And there's going to be a continuation. It won't go back to tell the new story, right? So I'm going to move this thing forward. So I think this will absolutely be fire. And I probably would make Rihanna the daughter of Bruce Leroy. Why not? I could see Bruce Leroy and Laura Charles having a kid back in the day. Why not? You feel me? So I'm definitely going with that. So I think this will absolutely be fire. Shout out to the chat. My boy Biggs, he said facts. Rowan Jack, Nah Ash, Rowan 12 likely what he sees. Honestly, is he in here? I didn't even see his. You saying that? Okay, you saying that? Okay. Paul, he can be a karate teacher as he's ending of The Last Dragon. I think your whole idea, cast, sounds great for a movie idea because all these people are too big to do a series. I don't think they would do a series, and Disney stole the rights to the New Dragon. Oh my God, Rowan Jack, you were stupid. Paul, I like the points that you make. The only reason why I feel like this can work based on the names, only for two reasons, right? Reason number one, we did have a super ensemble cast. I believe the show was called Fight Night with Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, and that cast, Chloe, I believe, Chloe, matter of fact, what's her name? Oh my God, Taraji P Henson. They did like 8 episodes of this series. Um, and then because the nature of how movies is moving with Disney and Hulu, not even Hulu, no, Disney and Netflix, they buying everything, like literally everything. So they will have no choice. They will have no choice. So that's why I think it will work. But I see the point that you're definitely making, especially if this was like 5 years ago. That's for sure. I'm gonna have to substitute a few of these folks for sure. But you remember Donald Glover got popping because of the TV show, and Kevin Hart just wants to do good work. I don't think he cares whether it's a movie or a show. Rihanna may want to do movies. She may want to do, but I just feel like when a project's so popping, right? People just want to be a part of it. So, but I'm not discounting what you're saying at all, though, because that was a good point. That was definitely a good point. But yeah, so that would be the movie series, and I hope they would sign on because my script would be impeccable and it would be fire. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Uh, Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Again, a quick shout out to both YouTube and TikTok. Again, if you're on my YouTube and want to be on TikTok, I'm at Ashley Lovechild Mojo. Vice versa, on my YouTube, I'm at Ashley Lovechild. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all 3 must-see fire movies to tap into. And I'm giving some Eddie Awards. And y'all know who Eddie is. Eddie Murphy. He's the standard. Just like the Emmys, the Tonys, the Grammys, and so on and so forth. I give out the Eddies over here. So my first Eddie tonight is a must-see movie. Came out in 1990, directed by Larry Cohen. This movie stars Eric Roberts, James Earl Jones, Red Bottoms, Stan Lee. The famous Stan Lee is in this movie, y'all. Y'all know who Stan Lee is. He's in this movie. And Janelle Turner. This movie is called The Ambulance. Fire. Must see movie. It's about a young man that was crushed. I won't say a young man. It's about a grown man crushing on a woman that he just thought was just so damn fine and had the guts to meet her. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. So make sure y'all tap in to see The Ambulance. Second must-see movie, and my second Eddie Award goes to 1997 movie that's directed by Steve Okenkirk. This movie stars Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins, Kelsey Preston, John C. McGinley, Giancarlo Esposito, Michael McKean, and Irma P. Hall. This movie is called Nothing to Lose. Fire, must-see movie. It's hilarious. Martin is absolutely cooking in this movie. This is about a man that works at an advertising firm, and he wants to spend some time with his wife, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for you, so make sure y'all tap in to see Nothing to Lose. And my third and final must-see movie, my third Eddie Award goes to 1991 movie directed by Louis Teague. This movie stars Rudder Hauer, Mimi Rogers, Joan Cheen, James Raymore, and Glenn Plummer. This movie is called Wedlock. Fire. This movie's before. It's ahead of its time. Fire concept about a thief, a jewelry thief makes her rip or does a job, and you have to see the rest of the movie. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, so make sure y'all tap in to see Wedlock. So my 3 Eddie Awards must-see movies that y'all must tap into. Number 1, The Ambulance. Number 2, Nothing to Lose. And number 3, Wedlock. Make sure y'all tap into those movies. Shout out to the chat, showing major love as always. Nothing to Lose is great. Man, Nothing to Lose had me in tears in certain scenes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Martin Lawrence is cooking in Nothing to Lose, y'all. He's cooking. Y'all gotta see Nothing to Lose if y'all haven't seen it. Nothing to Lose yet. Shout out to Malu, one of our other badge holder in the building. One of our other mods in the building. Appreciate you tuning and tapping in. One of our day ones, loyal team, Larry Cohen, the movie, the ambulance. Okay, oh, so you named the movie. Yeah, so make sure y'all tap into those movies. Thank you for that, Paul. Paul, thank you for that, Malu. Paul, Ash, movies recommendations to watch, ambulance. Wedlock, yes, and Nothing to Lose, yes. Make sure y'all tap into these movies, and you can find these movies on YouTube, Tubi. Yeah, y'all can find those movies on there. So make sure y'all tap into those. Uh, I'm a scat man. Yo, that's Rowan Jack. That scene, I'm a scat man. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell because there's people that probably haven't seen the movie. But I'm a scat man. Tears, bro. Like real grown man laughing tears. Funny. Yo, Martin is cooking in this movie. Cooking. And when y'all see, because most people don't realize Giancarlo Esposito in these movies because they familiar with him in Better Call Saul. And so when they like, that's not him. Like, yo, that's him when he was younger. So it's a very funny movie. Y'all must see that. Um, Anytime Ash. Hey Paul. Okay, so make sure y'all tap into those movies. Again, The Ambulance, Nothing to Lose, and Wedlock. And I'm telling y'all, Wedlock could come out right now and it'll be so fire because of the technology that we have. That movie was done ahead of its time. And it's a fire movie. So make sure y'all tap into Wedlock as well. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. I'm going to give y'all 3 fire must have songs on your playlist. Y'all know I profile an artist each and every episode, whether they new or old, whether they hip hop or R&B. I'm gonna give y'all that fire, and I'm giving out 3 Michael awards to this artist's catalog. And y'all know who Michael is. Michael Jackson. He's the standard. So again, just like Grammys, Emmys, so on and so forth, we do Michael Jackson Award. So my profile artist tonight, R&B legend Glenn Jones. Some of y'all probably like, who is Glenn Jones? As you come up with these artists we never heard of. Glenn Jones. Fire must have artists on your playlist. Put these 3 songs on your playlist in particular. My first Michael Award goes to this song, Show Me. Second, We've Only Just Begun. And third, I've Been Searching, Nobody Like You. 3 must-have songs on y'all playlist, y'all. This is 80s, 90s type of R&B right here. So this is top tier, upper echelon type of R&B. You know what I'm saying? Again, put Glenn Jones on your playlist. Get these 3 songs on your playlist. Again, Show Me, We've Only Just Begun, and I've Been Searching, Nobody Like You. So my 3 Michael Jackson awards goes to those 3 songs for tonight's episode. So make sure y'all go check out Glenn Jones. Great singer. Great singer. Shout out to Rowan Jack this week. I have to say Nicki Minaj, Don Lemon diss track. I've seen that. We're going to get into that a little later, actually, Rowan Jack. I've seen that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Our Send 'em the Turkey or Nah. Our Send 'em the Turkey or Nah segment. Y'all already know the rules of the game. We type in T to send them the turkey. We type it in not to send them the turkey when people say and just do stupid shit. First one of the night. The World Boxing Association has stripped Gervonta Davis of his WBA lightweight title following an alleged domestic violence incident. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, type in T to send the World Boxing Association to Turkey, or type in N not to send them to Turkey. Again, the World Boxing Association has stripped Gervonta Davis of his WBA lightweight title following an alleged domestic violence incident. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Kona in the building. Yeah, nah, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit the likes in the chat, but yeah, I don't play on that team. If you trolling, shame on you. If you was being serious, God bless you. You have the choice to like what you like. Appreciate you tuning and tapping in. But yeah, nah. If you're here for the entertainment value, we love to have you. But to be weird, so I'm seeing a whole lot of T's in the chat. I'm seeing a whole lot of T's in the chat. Ashley, can you please mention the 3 songs one more time? Okay. So I didn't see that, Malu. So the 3 songs again by Glenn Jones. Number 1 is Show Me. Number 2, We've Only Just Begun. And number 3, I've Been Searching, Nobody Like You. Again, that's Glenn Jones. Glenn Jones. I'll make sure my mod got that. So I'm seeing a whole lot of T's. Nah, that was just practice. Uh, we need to talk my. So yeah, we need to talk TikTok mods. Yeah, that's a fact. The TikTok mods, it's the wild wild west right now. You know what I'm saying? It's the wild wild west. Uh, yo, yo, pause, Rowan Jack. I love you, man. You always keep it a buck, brother. Always keep it a buck, brother. Uh, a buck, brother. A buck, like, for some people that don't know, that means 100. Okay. But yeah. So I'm seeing a whole lot of T's. So y'all sending the association to Turkey. Um, See, this one is tough for me because this is an alleged domestic violence situation. There's been rumblings and there's been rumors that Javante Davis have had these type of incidences, but these incidents are not proven. These incidents are not something that's stamped and that's like, yo, this is what happened, this is what's going on. As far as the history of what's going on, we've heard what he said and we've heard what another young lady have said. We've said a past young lady has said this, and we heard him say this about a young lady in his past. So is it fair to say that he has or haven't? Right? When it's he say, she say, that's not proving anything. And mind you, it could have happened and it could have not happened. Right? So just because somebody scratch you, that don't mean you whoop their ass. Right? I mean, we seen the tape of Jay-Z in Solange. Jay-Z came out the elevator, no disrespect, with a big boot on his chest, right? And if we didn't see the tape, you would have thought that Jay-Z could have possibly or probably, if Solange would have came out and said, yeah, he boxed me up. We wouldn't have known until we seen the tape, right? So when we seen the tape, Jay-Z was like, he was tied, but he didn't lay a hand, or he got booted in the chest or put his hands on, paws on, but he didn't do nothing back. So this could be a situation like that, or this could be a situation where he really did put hands on her. But we don't know for sure. And to do it off of an alleged act, I think is very reckless. It's very reckless because it's alleged. Unless you have inside information that this just happened or this did happen, it's inside information, and they just going through the formalities of just saying alleged until whenever the date comes that they could prove. It's still alleged. So anything outside of the realms of that is still reckless. So the fact that they took his title based on these allegations is reckless. Again, if it happened, then let the law work itself out. And once he's convicted and once this is like, yo, this really happened, then you take away the titles at that point. What is the rush? What is the rush? I don't want the bad press. Is boxing. Like, what are we talking about? Boxing haven't been the premier sport in a while. You got no disrespect to him because, he's turned himself into somebody, I wouldn't even call him a boxer, but he's turned himself into somebody that can fight, and Jake Paul and his brother. They must see TV, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, doing this on an alleged act. So I'm going with y'all in the chat. I'm sending this to Turkey all the way. I agree with y'all in the chat. Shout out to Biggs. He's saying I don't know. He's saying I don't know. Paul, it's the allegation not proven to say, so no to Turkey for me. And I agree. That's where I'm at with it as well, Paul. That's exactly where I'm at with it as well. Ashley, it's a tough one. It's very tough when something is an allegation. It's very tough. It's very tough when something is not proven. So it's very reckless to take away things and punish people for things that haven't been proven yet. Because now, let's say they never go to court and it ends up getting settled. A settlement is not even a form of guilt anymore, of having a settlement. And I learned this having to be summoned to court one time or a few times. And y'all know, everybody gets summoned to court, right? But I learned in court that why most companies and most people with money settle is not an admission of guilt. It's the cost of doing business. So what this means is if this drags out longer, regardless if we win or lose, they're gonna pay out way more money. It's like, yo, we could settle this right now. I'd rather pay my lawyer one time, pay your lawyer one time, and pay you one time, and go about my business because I'm not wrong, but I'm not gonna fight you just to be right. Because the longer I fight, and even when I win, or if I win, I still paid more money to my lawyers than it would for me to pay you. And the settlement is not an admission of guilt. When y'all do the research and y'all look at the court documents, it's not an admission of guilt. So that's why some people do that. So this is very reckless that they move into this type of territory and do this prematurely. So that's why I'm at though. So I can't send this to Turkey myself. A woman that have been violated knows she has to show the injuries through pictures. 100%, you can't do nothing but words. You can't do nothing with words. You can't do nothing but words without no marks. You have to have proof. You have to have proof. Body, witness. You have to have proof. There has to be not just that in itself, but history. History. You know, people have witnessed the history. Like, yeah, they volatile. You know, she punched him in the eye. He slapped her in the face. Like, and if you don't have that, you have no hardcore proof. When it's he say, she say, I mean, people say things out of anger. They say things out of anger. And we covered on the past show that some people that did say things out of anger and they was upset and there was no charges filed against them because they was upset. Now if you're a mother and you have a son and he's going through a situation where a young lady is accusing him of something he did not do, and it comes to find out that he did not do it, as the mother and as the father of that child, you're going to be like, yo, that's it? Nah, yo, she knew that he didn't do nothing. So there should be some charges that come to her. Right? And that also could be vice versa. So you have to have proof. To me, this is risky business. This is risky business. You can get arrested for less. That's a fact. That's a fact. Living life, I've been through some stuff, but living life, people get arrested just off the word. Off the word. After the OJ trial, it changed the way policing deal with domestic violence. Because before then, they would come out and be like, yo, y'all need to chill on that and y'all need to fix what's going on in this house. After the OJ situation, and this is not saying that OJ did it, because I don't believe OJ did it. That's a whole nother story, and I could go into depth with that. But the point that I'm making is the fact that when a woman says something, you have to do something. So now, if you're in a domestic situation, fellas, if the ladies call the cops on you, you're going to jail, or you're at least going to holding. You're at least going to do that. You're at least either going to go to holding, you're going to go to booking, you're going to do that. And depending on the day you go, you might go to county. So they arrest you first and ask questions later. I know this. But later on, when you have your proof, they'll let you go. You can walk away with a clean record. But the only part is you can't bring up charges on a person that brought up these charges on you just off of pure anger or feeling. You know what I mean? So that's also a thing as well. I went to the hospital after being beaten up and by my husband. He stole my IDs and gave them to the other girls. They did fraud on my name, have to prove no consequences. So me, don't know. In some cases, both might go. They only would take both if she say something and he say something. Then y'all both going. Y'all both in New York City, they may or may not take you, but somewhere like Florida, Las Vegas, the South, the Midwest, both of y'all going in. If he like, yo, she did this to me too. Um, it happened to me. So yeah, so like this is like we're speaking on a very real situation in the chat. Either both men and women, it had happened to. Everybody had an experience in this, and they could think back and be like, "Yo, this is very real." So, but I still feel like it's reckless based on the allegation, because the allegation is not something that's proven. So, some people say, "Well, when it's smoke, there's fire." Not necessarily. It depends who's setting that damn smoke. If somebody don't like you, then it matters. If the smoke is coming from a group of people that don't like you, then it matters. You're not going to depend on them for somebody that don't know you to get a better sense of your judgment and character, right? You're not going to ask the people that don't like you. So it does matter. Biggs, it's a reckless facts. It's reckless facts. Now it's very reckless. It's very reckless to do that based on the allegation without even being proven. But at the same time, everybody in each individual get different rules. Get different rules. The rapper David, his case is still in limbo when his ex-girlfriend, who happened to be underage, was found in the trunk of one of his cars. And he was supposedly away on tour or whatever the case may be. And she was like 13, 14 years old. And he still hasn't been arrested because of lack of evidence. Not saying that he did it, but he's allegedly a person of interest. I'm just saying. But who else had access to her like that? The same access that he had to her, that have that same access to his vehicles to put her body in his vehicle. I'm just saying. But this is all alleged. Malu, Biggs, what happened to you? Also, Malu's asked, okay, I know firsthand it happened to me. Filipinos all think they are many Manny Pacquiao's. I mean, at the end of the day, man, regardless of any of our backgrounds, we have to learn how to do better, man, when it comes to those situations. And it's easier said than done. When you're in the throes of the situation, when your blood is boiling, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, how do you get out of it? The only good that comes out of it is great sex, as far as like arguing so hard that you want to have sex, not arguing so hard where you want to fight. If you go argue so hard, and if you really argue with somebody, and y'all don't obviously you don't come to blows. We don't come to blows, but if you argue really hard with somebody, like really hard, I guarantee you're gonna be hornier than you ever thought in your life. Your whole body is like Bruce Leroy. It's like you found the golden glow. And I don't want to be crass, ladies, but damn, you just woo. What the mama say in the clumps? 35 years of wanting and wanting and wanting. Woo, make your head blow off. It gets crazy when you arguing at the top tier and you just get horny. It's like, whoa, it's like a rapture. You turn into a beast, right? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pumping and the sweating up in here, So you know, we all need to resolve our big arguments like that, right? Not putting our hands on each other in a negative way, right? Malu, Rowan Jack, she laughing at Rowan Jack. Oh my God, you can say that 100%. But okay, I feel some of them just come flying in the middle out of nowhere. Rowan Jack, it was a real test of resilience and the patience of a saint. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, hey man, say man, when you dealing with certain people, you know what I'm saying? That blood boy will get real, but we have to keep our hands to ourselves. You can't suplex your partner just because you justified. You can't suplex because you justified. No leg drop because you justified. We gotta keep our hands to ourselves. That goes for both men and women. Okay? You don't want to Jimmy Fly, Jimmy Snooker that thing. Damn, I sound really old saying Jimmy Fly, Jimmy Snooker right now. Wow. Shout out to Biggs. A girl lied to the cops saying that I hit her, and the cops like looked at her and laughed because they didn't know I. Yeah, and the reason why the cops laugh is because if you've seen Biggs in real life, Biggs lives up to his name. Okay, pause. That sound crazy, but Biggs is one of my longtime friends. He's also have done some bodyguard work and stuff like that, some security work. And Biggs is not a small individual. I've told you before. You know, he picked up people and throw them on their necks. You know, Biggs is about 6'6", 6'7". You know, 3 and change. You know, so for a woman to say that a 6'6", 6'7", 300-pound slapped her, it will look crazy. It will look crazy. Y'all probably seen Biggs in some of my pictures. Don't even realize that's him. As far as the name Messiah, Malu laughing at it. Grandpa Ash, nah, chill. You know what I'm saying? Chill. That used to be my nickname in high school. Believe it or not, my football teammates, we had a nickname catalog in the locker room. And somebody like, and this was like a team thing, but they didn't include me on the nicknames. I walk into the locker room and everybody got a nickname, and next to my name said Grandpa. I said, which one of y'all said I'm Grandpa? He said, yo, bro, we all did. Yo, you the last one out the locker room, baby. Like you move, like yo, you be out here just moving at your own pace. So yeah, that was definitely my nickname in high school. Messiah. Yeah, okay, I tried that too. That girl had my ex-husband cheated with calling the cops and said that I hit her. So they came to the house. I told the police I didn't hit her, but I threw her clothes out I'm guessing the window. Yeah, out the window. But I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I used to watch television, anytime I watch a movie, and I see a woman throw a man clothes out the window, as a man, why the hell would you go back? And again, this is not for you, Malu. This is for just me as a man, understanding why would a dude go back to a woman that threw this clothes out the window. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, and my clothes on top of that? Oh no. Oh no. Nah, that won't work. I've seen that in the movie Jungle Fever when Wesley Snipes' wife found out that he was cheating. He was walking home and all his clothes was flying out the window. Like, yo, what's going on? Like, what we doing, Wesley? Situate that, man. Like, what we doing? Like, I just never understood that. I never understood that. You know what I mean? The police said, okay, everything is okay, but she had done it before. Went to find her in my bed, so I had to walk around naked. Again, I'm not Malu. I'm not judging what you had to do. I'm saying for me, if a woman did that to me, regardless of whatever I did, yo, I can never get back together with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you have peace after that? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not judging what you had to do based on what they did to you. You know what I'm saying? I had mine thrown in the bathtub. Luckily, they were still, the cops still showed up. Wow. Woo. I mean, again, I'm not judging y'all situation at all. Um, but it's tough. Now, I ain't gonna lie, the pettiest thing I've ever done, I probably put on my ex Tim's to bulk it out on purpose because she thought it was funny to put on my classic Michael Vick Virginia Tech jersey. She thought it would be funny. And in my pettiness, you know what I'm saying? I put these 11 and a halves all in her 3.5 shoe because she thought it was funny. So I thought that was funny. You know what I'm saying? But that was in my, that's 19, 20-year-old ass. You know what I'm saying? I was a young man. You know what I'm saying? Just very petty. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But I did that when I was like 19, 20. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I did go back, but my ex-husband didn't want to let me go, so he made it hard for me. Rowan Jack, I think the walk of shame was too far, though. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we all want to find positive ways to be resolution-based. I can't even think in my personal relationships to get that toxic now. At 41, I'm 41, y'all. At 41. And honestly, I won't say all, I've only probably been in 2 toxic relationships, but one that was really toxic for real. The other one was like petty toxic, right? But I'm so thankful for those relationships because it teaches you what you don't want in a partner. It teaches you how to recognize the red flag and get your ass far away from it as soon as possible. Because we all have a threshold, right? We all have a breaking point. We say, you know what? You stay here, I'm going to walk over there, and I'm going to leave, and we're going to keep this cool. The more angrier you get, the more calmer I'm going to get. Because I'm going to keep this cool. You know what I'm saying? You will not get me to, you won't get me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to dip. So fellas, if you're in a situation with the woman of your dreams, the woman that you love, and it's getting toxic, if it don't leads to sex, just bow out. If a whole lot of argument don't lead to you in her guts, just bow out. If you feel like it's getting toxic, if you feel like it's getting petty, bow out, bro. I'm telling you. And for the ladies in the chat, if you feel like your blood gets to boiling and you have to get it out, don't. Keep your cool, keep calm, and stay chill. Because it's not worth it. Because now if you go there, now you think all the things that wouldn't have happened if you'd have kept your cool. I'm just saying. So, if you know, you know. Absolutely, Ash. I'm telling you, it's a mind trick. The hardest thing to do and the easiest thing to do in a situation like that is keep your cool. Now, if you arguing and starting arguments to have sex, yo, I'm trying to tell you. You feel me? A good hard argument, somebody could get pregnant that night. That night. Oh, pull out. Who do that over here? What? Pull out. What? After this argument that didn't lead to no domestic violence, it just led to us being horny. Oh, you getting pregnant tonight. I got the name for our son right now. Yes, ma'am. Right now. So if it don't lead to that, fellas, you know what I'm saying? Exit stage left. All right, y'all, moving on to our next. Send them to Turkey or nah. Send them to Turkey or nah. A judge has sentenced Joanne Marks 12 years with 500 hours of community service for being caught giving an inmate a cell phone and sexual favors. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending her to Turkey or not? Are we sending her to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to my dog Vic in the building. Big badge holder. Appreciate Vic for tapping in. And y'all, hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Hit them hearts. Hit it at least 25 times. It helps with the growth of the show. Even if you did it already, y'all, it just helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to my TikTok as well. Shout out to my TikTok showing love. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. So y'all saying Turkey. Y'all saying Turkey. Y'all sending her to Turkey. Big Turkey. Big Turkey. I'm agreeing with y'all in the chat. I'm agreeing with y'all in the chat. Sending this lady to Turkey. Joanne, her name is Joanne Marks. Sending her to Turkey. Like, see, the way how I look at it, honestly, it's not even the act, right? The act alone was stupidity, right? Giving an inmate a cell phone, you know, getting your nut off and all this, that, and the third, right? But it just goes to the point, and it's a bigger point, that people over a certain age is dead ass lonely, yo. It's real out here. It's real out here. It's a lot of single men and a lot of single women out here. People get horny. They get real horny. You touch them, they pregnant right on the spot. So when you have that loneliness and that lack of connection outside of your job, now you go to work where, again, you work in a prison, you're seeing dudes, and now you developing camp eyes. Now, like, what the hell is camp eyes? If you ever played a sport and you ever went to a camp, the first day of camp, the camp lady looked like the camp lady. But on the 7th day of camp, she looking like Beyonce. Like, that bubble just have a different type of bubble on the 7th day. So when you have people that's working in these environments and working, you know, in these type of places with the opposite sex, have access to them, and they don't have no real connection in the outside world. They don't have no boyfriend, no man, or vice versa. They don't got no girlfriend or wife. That lack of connection could lead them to a road of destruction. And she was willing to risk it all. You mean to tell me the most charismatic dude that you would meet is behind bars? I would think the most charismatic dude you'll meet is free, you know, on the outside. No matter how boring or dull he is, he free. He could come to your house, you go to his house. Y'all could do stuff like go to the movies. Things that free people do in the free world, not a jailbird. And to risk it all, and it ended up getting 500 hours of community service plus 12 years of your life. Not to mention you lose your job, you lose your pension, and you take yourself out of the world. I'm saying, how much sex are you getting now? I mean, unless you into the fish. Like, I would think she's not, because she's in jail because of the beef. So again, this goes to a deeper point of just that lack of human connection. And we're seeing by far, and it's getting more and more each year. You see more single women going up. You see more single men going up. But men, we benefit more from being single. So it doesn't affect us because, like, real talk, we can have situational companionship. Women, y'all can have companionship any way y'all choose. Any way y'all choose. But why are you choosing? And again, not all of y'all, obviously. I'm not talking to all of y'all, because all of y'all don't do this. But why would this woman choose this as her best option? It's just silly. And it goes to that lack of connection. Breaking the, shout out to Vic, big badge holder, breaking the law. Malu, like, subscribe, and share. Vic, LOL. Rowan Jack, we need to replace prison guards with Optimus robots. Oh my God, Rowan Jack, you stupid. The chat is agreeing with you though. They said that's a genius idea though. um, it ain't nothing like human connection. Like we tried forms of different sex when you see the movie Demolition Man, right? You see the scene with Sandra Bullock tell, Sylvester Stallone, like, yo, come back to my place, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the night to end. And they get through the door, she look him dead in the face, as genuine as she could. Sandra Bullock says, would you like to have sex? And like most typical men, if a woman asks us to, hey, would you like to have sex with a smile? Yeah, I would love that. You know what I'm saying? Off the first date, I would love that. We don't gotta like lay on the couch and do the little rigmarole. It's like, yo, okay, I would love that. He gets all ready. She come back with the little robot helmet, and she like, put this on, and he like, all right, and she puts her on. And he like, what are we about to do? She like, we're about to have sex. And he like, oh, she's like, just close your eyes. And they having a whole visual sex. It was messing Sylvester Stallone up. He like, y'all want the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like human connection. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like it. Malu, it's either that or Hunger Games. Wink. I think jail should be refreshed 100% with new set of rules and a lot more therapy. Rowan Jack, we should be further than Hunger Games because many of them coming back into society. Hunger Games get you early access. I just watched the movie where this particular prison, they allowed both men and women to live in the same space, and they allowed both men and women to get it popping on a regular basis. It was called like it was like called Magic Hour, and it happened once a week where they go to where the men and women could congregate, and they could just pick who they want to get it popping with, and that kept the morale low in this movie. I was like, yeah, they wouldn't do that in real life. Like, they not doing that. Like, you just gonna let men and women jail together and just get some of that good loving. Dudes will be going to jail on purpose. Like, yo, like, nah, like, lock me up. I can't get none out here. Lock me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me something. So, but the only thing about the movie though that was like wasn't realistic. All the women that was in this jail that was getting it popping was all fine. Have y'all seen most jail chicks? Like, I know y'all see the girls that go or the women that go viral that be fine, but with all that fineness, there's a lot of whoa, mama. You know what I'm saying? So don't go to jail if they had that just for the cakes, all right? Roy Jack, we both know that men blow up easier than their drive can't be released, especially in jail, or we get them OF accounts from jail. Only bait. Rowan Jack, you is stupid. You talk only bait. Like OnlyFans, only bait. Stupid. That's funny, Rowan Jack. We need to close down OF 100%. Yo, y'all are cracking me up in the chat. Y'all are cracking me up. So it sounds like y'all sent her the turkey. I'm sending her the turkey on this, but this is crazy altogether to me. Like, for her to risk it, it doesn't make sense. The only sense that it makes is because lack of human connection. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Moving on to our segment. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. That's the word button hyphenated sign in the word snaps.com. She will get pregnant in Turkey too. That's hey man. If you put good looking people behind bars and you let them congregate with both men and women, people won't get pregnant all day. Condoms for what? For what? I'm all about condoms. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about safe sex. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about that. But people in jail and they doing a life bids. You know what I'm saying? They gonna risk it. They already risked it all. Like, you know. Let's be sure we can't get pregnant before we report her. Deport her. Marlon. So y'all cracking up in the chat. Y'all funny. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. Question, question, question. Can you still be friends with somebody that hooked up with your ex? Can you still be friends with somebody that hooked up with your ex? And could you still be friends with somebody you consider a real friend? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Can you be friends with somebody that hooked up with your ex? The friend is somebody you consider a real friend. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Uh, me personally, in my past, I said it depends, right? Now I'm going to say no. The reason why I said in my past it depends because I look at things very situationally. So if I dealt with a woman that I kind of never really cared for, like, it's like, nah. Even if I like that was my like. Now actually, now that I think about it, I've all the women that I considered my girlfriends, I cared for. Probably not like in love with, but I cared for. So before, I would probably say it depends on which one in particular. It's only, it's probably one of my exes. I kid y'all not. If one of my friends started dating her, I would literally not care. I would still be friends with her. Like it's only one. It's only one that is an ex that I would not care. Like I would not like, yo, what's good, bro? How the fam? Like we still gonna be cool. But everybody else, yeah, nah. And it's not because I have romantic feelings for any of my exes, which I don't. I don't. But it's just the respect level. The fact that even if y'all have a connection that we no longer share, it's the fact that you're coming behind me and trying to share a connection with a woman that I once shared. Mind you, you dealing with a woman like she dealt with me. So she did some things, brother. So I don't know if you want, you know what I mean? So you feel me? Um, so I mean, I'm like, so that's why I look at it like that. It's only one X. I'll be like, yo, it's all good, G. You know what I'm saying? You cool, you straight, everything good. Yeah, keep her cool. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else, I would definitely feel a type of way, and I couldn't be friends with someone that deal with any of my exes that I liked at one point. Even though and I say this wholeheartedly, I have no romantic feelings for any of my exes. I'll still crack a few, but that doesn't mean I want them back. If that makes sense. Maybe to the guys that makes sense, but some of the ladies, like probably looking at me crazy, but like ladies, we like that as guys. Like we'll crack you and not like you for real. It's just the bubble, just like you see the shorts she got on. Like oh my god, like you know what I'm saying. Got to celebrate that, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. So in the chat, I'm seeing nah. I'm seeing a whole lot of no, nah. Y'all not jacking it. Y'all not dealing with it. Rowan Jack said nah. Biggs say nah. They will still need to be. They will still be in. Hold on. They will still be in your life, and all you know, Toya seen the other naked. If she was honest about her feelings and told the truth, I would support love because it can't be controlled, but they cheated. Okay, okay. I think that's another aspect of it as well too. If you could be honest, honesty is always the best policy, in my opinion, dealing with the matters of the heart. So, Malo, you do have a great point when you say if somebody is honest, right, instead of sneaking and be obviously the situation I'm referring to is basically like behind the back culture, right, where people sneak and do things. But if you're honest, if you say that, yo, I know you have a past with this woman, but I can't help the connection that I feel. And because I view you as a friend, I don't feel right taking it a step further without letting you know how I feel about her and how she feels about me. And this is true. Like, this is not a smash situation. This is a love situation. Then again, I would have to look at that situation differently too. I would have to look at, because I don't want them. You see what I'm saying? But it's the respect level. So that also it's a very big part of that. So I like that point that you added to that, Malo. But they said I would probably spend time and my niece, they shouldn't think that we are going to share dinner every Wednesday no more. Facts. Fact. If they sneak, would be never. Yeah, the sneaking aspect, because most people that do stuff, they sneak. They sneaky. You know what I'm saying? But again, if people open and honest, then I mean they open and honest. They open and honest. And again, if you don't want them, right? And then if the only layer of that is the respect level and they respect you enough to be honest, it is what it is. So I like that add to the mix of that model for sure, for sure. Me personally, like I said, back when I was younger, I would say it's situational. Now it's a hard no, except for the one particular woman. But if somebody was like really honest with me, was like, yo, bro, like I'm in love, like like it will take a certain type of friend for a certain type of ex. So for me to be cool with it, so but I'm the type of friend I let all my bros know anytime they see a woman that may be around me that they like, they ask like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because if you see it, that don't mean I'm not always necessarily dealing with her, but the bros always ask before they holler. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about respect. It's all about respect. Shout out to the TikTok again. I'm cross-platforming on both YouTube and TikTok. Moving on to our next hot topic: the U.S. labor market, new hiring age. The average hiring age in 2025 was 42 years old. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the U.S. labor market, new hiring age on average was 42 years old in 2025. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the U.S. labor market, new age, average of hire was 42 years old. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. This goes to show where the workforce market is right now. That's what goes to show. You got people that are again in their 40s, early to mid 40s, working to make ends meet, and it's just that simple. And at that age, most people are family people, people that need to make the extra money, people that need the extra income to take care of their family. You don't find many people who are in their 40 and above that don't have a family to take care of. We're seeing less and less 20 to 30 year olds not having children, not being married, and not even working. So the fact that the average hiring age is at 42 in 2025 goes to show where the list of priorities is for people in different age demographics. So that's to me what is most alarming about that is that the 42-year-olds or the is 42, but basically the early 40 years old is the ones that are really taking the job market serious or take advantage of it based on these openings, whether they're big or small, because they're trying to, make ends meet, or they're trying to make extra money, they're trying to save extra money, they're trying to do something with finances to make them achieve their goal much sooner and faster. And it's crazy. When I was in my 20s, or early 20s, I should say, late teens, early 20s, always working. Always. Before I got into music probably when I was 23, 24. So anytime before then, I was always working. Always. Regardless of what job I had before then, always working. And I played football. Like, so it was a real thing. And in the job market, I seen most people that was around my age or a little older, people that was 25 and older, some people in their 30s at that time, like really working. So it's amazing to see that most people now, they're in their early 40s, are the ones that's really taking control and heed of the job market. Uh, mm, my mom put me to work at the age of 7. I started work at 15, working at my mom's restaurant. I remember I probably started working at 15 myself. I think it was either 15 or it was 15, because in New York City, once you turn a certain age, you have to, get a permission slip from your parent to start working. At least they did, back then or whatever. But I remember doing that and having to work and things of that nature. So that was like a very big thing. But again, majority of the young people, like, we was on it, but we wasn't the majority on the job market. It was a whole lot of 25s and up. I worked with a lot of adults when I was, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. A lot of adults. So that goes to show that, and these adults was 25 to, I'll say, like 35. The people who was like in their 40s and their 50s, they was management. So we're seeing more people in their 40s that's working entry level jobs just to make either ends meet or to save money or to make extra money, any way to pay them bills. Because in 2025, it was ridiculous. Everything was ridiculous. Everything was through the roof. So to see people working and making that extra money, and majority of those people are in their early 40s, is not even surprising. People got families. So it's not even surprising for me. Shout out to the chat. Also started homeschool. I was a delivery. I was a delivery bud. My mom put her name on it, but let me do the work. Yeah, my first job at 15, I worked in the mailroom at Supreme Court of New York. That was my first official job. Worked in the mailroom. I tried getting a little job at 8, 9 years old, working at the cause I seen some of my friends doing it. I was like, oh, they let you work here? They work at the local supermarket, packing bags, and you know what I'm saying, you can make you a couple dollars doing that, you know what I'm saying? A little 3 hours of work, you could clear about $8 back in the day, which is $8. Yo, you'll be all right with $8 a day back in the day. Yeah, y'all probably laughing at me in the chat, but $8 a day for 3 hours for an 8-year-old kid, not for an adult, but for an 8-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid, yo, that's food for you and the family. You know what I'm saying? Go right to the Chinese store, get a whole meal for $4. $4 right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So you can at least contribute something to the household at that age. So when I seen a lot of my friends doing that, I was like, yo, I need to get in on this. It was something about my spirit, you know what I'm saying, that none of the grocery stores wanted to mess with me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I carried that streetness when I was a kid, but they didn't want to mess with me. But some of my other friends were like, yeah, we could rock with him. You a little rough, you know what I'm saying? You're a little ruffian, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I had 4 hours before school and 4 hours after school. So yeah, I mean, again, it's not surprising that I'm seeing the job market be the way that it is in this day and age. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Miami University quarterback Carson Beck, after the loss to Indiana, says, I don't owe anyone a handshake after losing a major championship game. I owe myself the standard I played to. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the Miami University quarterback Carson Beck says he doesn't owe anyone to give him a handshake after losing the national championship game. I owe myself the standard that I played to. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Uh, that was hard times, and I never got $1 from the work I did 100%. But let's say I paid my part of the household. That's a fact. That's a fact. A lot of kids don't realize, yo, they the world we live in today is very privileged, very privileged, very privileged, and we say that to the time that we grew up in, had to contribute to the household, but then even our parents say, yo, we was privileged for the world that we lived in. So each era, it gets a little easier and easier as far as what we have to do opposed to what we want to do. So let me know what y'all think about that chat in the chat. Miami University quarterback Carson Beck says, I owe I don't owe anyone a handshake. Like I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna put this to bed regarding this in itself. Carson Beck just played in the national championship. You probably played the second best season ever in your college career. You played at Georgia, won the national title. You go back to the national championship with Miami, making really good money in your NIL, and y'all had a chance to make history, and y'all came up short. What is the big deal on showing proper sportsmanship in that moment, making a moment bigger than yourself, and shaking somebody's hand? Because honestly, that's not good sportsmanship. You have to know when to turn it on and off. And a part of being a winner and being a competitor is tearing somebody's head off when the game is going. But when the game is over, because it's a game, it has a start, a middle, and an end, you snap out of that shit. Life will and do go on. And the biggest thing that most athletes remember is respect and the times they had. You're not going to really remember the national championship game like that for real, or the games you played, or the 300 yards you may have threw, or this happened in this game. Your biggest and most fondest memories is going to be the camaraderie and the experiences that you have with your teammates, whether it's the national championship, whether it's in the locker room during the season, the time that y'all chase girls in the dorm rooms, or whatever the case may be. Those are the times that you're going to cherish the most. And one of the biggest respect that you can get is not just from your teammates, but also from your opponents. That takes a lot of maturity to understand if you would have won and your team would have won and y'all would have had y'all moment, it's only right and respectful for the man to shake your hand for being a great competitor. That's what that's about. That's what that's about. Competition is controlled. Being a competitor is just in you. You're always going to compete in everything that you do in life. But trust me, 10 years from now, you're going to feel like an idiot. Because there's a respect level that must be paid. Because they competed. And if you would have won, you would not be great without them. Just like they couldn't be great without you. You done missed the moment. You done missed the moment. So I honestly hope, because you're a young man, you're probably about like 23, 24, you old enough to be my son for real. And I say that in real words. I have a daughter that's going to be 23 this year. So you old enough to be my son. If you was my son, I would tell you you're dead wrong. you're dead wrong. And you possibly may have an opportunity to reshape your image based on that, because that wasn't sportsmanship. That wasn't sports behavior at all. I don't care how great you think you are or how great people tell you that you are. That's not sportsmanship. That's not cool. A part of being a competitor is giving respect to your adversaries or the people that you're competing against. Come on, man. Like an example, if winning stands up and be like, "Boo, I'm a loser," or "No, not gonna work," because the best of the best don't win every time. Being a competitor in anything, that's what makes people be a competitor, because you don't win every time. That's what makes it so special. So when it's not your time, guess what? You just have to give it up. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna cry. You're gonna be upset because you care. You're supposed to care. You're supposed to be upset. You're supposed to cry. And it's supposed to give you something inside you to make you want to thrive harder next time. What do I have to do with my teammates? What do I have to do for myself? How do I be a better communicator, a more effective communicator? All those things is well said and good. But in the moment when you lose, there's a time and place for all of that. And respect due to your competitors, to the people you're competing against, that matters too, if not more than anything else. Shout out to Malu. Uh, exactly, Ashley. I absolutely agree with you on that 100%. I'm telling you right now, man, 10 years from now, you're going to wish you did that differently. And it's cool. It's cool. You're a young man. It's a learning experience. But at the end of the day, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's going to be a point in time where you're going to be around other young kids, kids who are much younger than yourself. And you're going to see the level that they at and how hard they go. You're going to see, damn, they going hard. And when things don't look right, you're going to speak up because it don't look right. So you're going to have a chance to redeem yourself. You're going to. And if you have the opportunity to redeem yourself and you don't, then you're just an asshole. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Judge decision to sell Nicki Minaj home will be made this week. Let me know what y'all think about that on the chat. Again, a judge decision to sell Nicki Minaj home will be made this week, and this is stemming from a case that she had through either a former security guard or somebody that was doing some sort of security guarding elsewhere. I don't know for sure what the security guard, whether it was hers or for another entity or company, but there was a situation where her husband allegedly put hands on this man. Well, it's not alleged. He did put hands on this man, and it resulted in the security guard being awarded $500,000. And this happened years ago. And she's yet to cough up that money. So the judge is now going to leverage the home to make sure that this plaintiff with this person gets his money. Because this happened, I believe, in 2019. So this is like right at COVID or before COVID. It's been some time. We're in 2026 now. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. That the jacket, Ash, fire. Appreciate that, my brother. You know, my homage to Martin. You know, I named the show after, one of his quotes. So, Martin is my guy. If y'all a big fan of the Martin show like I am, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate that, CC. Don't forget, y'all, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Hit them hearts in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. Even if you did it already, it helps with the growth of the show. That's why I wear the red hat, for love. You know what I'm saying? For love. You know what I mean? Show love. You know what I mean? Malo, showing love to Malo. Okay. So the chat showing major, major love. Just pay the man. Just pay the man, yo. Sometimes when you do the crime, you just gotta do the time. Just pay the man and just go on with your life. Why have this thing linger over you? And now you're going to leverage, or you're going to let a judge have the ability to leverage your home, your place of peace, your place of solace, your place of reflection, redirection. Nah. And I believe her home is worth somewhere in the upwards of like 19 to 20 million dollars. What are we talking about? Just pay this man his money and go about your day. Go about your day. And even though the house is worth that amount now, it wasn't worth that when they first bought it. So there's equity in the home. So why sacrifice the equity of the home when you don't have to? Just pay this man this 500,000 and go about your day. Go back to being great. Go back to working on music. Go back to working on passion projects that you love doing that could, change the worldview of people. Who knows? But if not anything else, Nicki Minaj is a creative woman when it comes to anything that she puts her mind to. Regardless if you're a fan of her music or not, whether her music is a go-to or not, it doesn't matter. She's very creative, very smart. Get back to being great, yo. Pay this man his money and just go about your life. Why put this in the judge, or put this in the hands of a judge that could do this? Why? So that's how I feel on it, me personally. In the chat, she needs to buy the judge. Yo, Rowan J. I didn't even have to look at the name for real, but I looked at the name. When I read the comment, I just knew it was Rowan that said that. I just knew it was Rowan that said that instead of all that drama. That's a fact. Nicki Minaj can't she pay that? Nicki Minaj can she pay that fee? I mean, anytime you got a home that's worth that amount, there's a lot of equity in the home in itself. Your home being worth $20 million, and when you bought it, it was probably worth $8 million. It's a lot of equity. 500,000 is nothing, and I'm pretty sure she makes at least 3 times 500,000 per year. At least that. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Pay this man his money and keep it pushing. This happened 2019. This could have been done and over with. So don't let the law be in control of your life. Don't let the law look at your situation as a docket number, because you will be under the mercy of the law. So that's what I have for her. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Netflix intends to keep films in theater for just 17 days after acquiring Warner Brothers. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Netflix intends to keep films in theater for just 17 days after acquiring Warner Brother Films. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Like I said before, Netflix, Disney, they buying up everything. So the way how we used to look at Hollywood is not going to be the new Hollywood. They're creating their own version of Hollywood. So basically what they're saying is all major films that are supposed to be major films will be major films. But people are streaming. People will rather sit at home in the comfort of their home and watch the movie on their thing. Me personally, I love going to the movies. There's nothing better than going to the movies. The movies is different from the home. I'm way more comfortable in my home, but the visual effect is worth the price of admission for me, especially for certain movies. But they're saying they're only going to keep these movies in theater for 17 days, and after 17 days, it's out of here, baby. It's going straight to streaming. Us as for viewers, I kind of like that, because whether I get to this movie or not, I'm going to have access to this. Like, I grew up at a time where when a movie came out, we had to wait a little minute to even get the VHS or the DVD. It was like a solid minute. Like, if a movie came out, like literally, we would not see that on a VHS or a DVD literally until 8 months later. So that was the bigger reason why people had to go to the movie theaters on the first day. Like, yo, it's coming out this Friday, so we gotta go. Like, so those box office numbers used to really matter. Now, because we get access to these movies pretty quickly after being in the movie, after the theatrical releases, it takes the I need to get to the movie on the first weekend or the first couple weeks, like kind of out of the ball game because we're going to get it regardless. So basically, that is what Netflix model is saying. It's like even though they bought out Warner Brothers, they will allow the movies to stay in the movies for 17 days. After that, come to Netflix, baby. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want your producer all in the videos, all on the songs, come to Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like Death Row, come to Netflix. So if that's their model, it's great for us as fans, but it's terrible for, the movie picture business. This is going to be a major effect because now I would not be surprised if they put less love into the movies. Because the whole purpose of building a movie and having film is putting it in theater. So now if everything is not going to stay in theater, it's like, all right, well, we could go cheaper on the material and give y'all this movie. So in the chat, I'm seeing I don't really understand why Netflix would do that. Killing the theater industry. Rowan Jack, indeed, Netflix wants to be replaced by AI. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's what's going to be their model moving forward. Because you got to remember, Netflix is in it for Netflix because Netflix makes their own movies. Netflix can pay a Kevin Hart, can pay a Johnny Depp, can pay a Denzel Washington. They bought everybody out. So they could pay all these top actors to do Netflix movies. So at the end of the day, they don't care about the theaters. They don't care about that. They're going to make sure they're going to monopolize this as far as streaming because that's where the real money's at. Because you're getting money every month on time. And those streaming numbers go up each and every month. I remember when Netflix first came out, people was paying like $6.99. Now what are people? I haven't had Netflix in a while, but the last time I had Netflix, it was like $17.99. It could be more than that right now. But at the end of the day, they don't care nothing about no theaters. They're going to give y'all movies regardless, but y'all going to go to Netflix to get the movies. That's what they in it for. Why do you think it's even hard to find certain football games? I got so mad, certain football games I couldn't get because it's on Netflix now. It's like, damn, so Netflix now is getting into sports, and now you got to get Netflix to see a damn football game? So shout out to CC in the building. Netflix wants to be Death Row 2.0. Straight pulling everyone. That's a fact. That's a fact. They on their death row. You know what I'm saying? They on their first death row run. That first death row run was just crazy. The second death row run is going on right now. It's way more kumbaya. It's all about the music. The second death row run. But that first death row run, you know what I'm saying? Come to death row. You know what I'm saying? That's all it's about. Netflix is twerking. Yeah, Netflix is not playing no games. They buying up everything. Everything. They bought the Red Balloon and they buying up content as well too. The Red Balloon, I covered that they bought the Red Balloon show. They bought up the Breakfast Club. They buying a whole bunch of stuff right now. So, now if you ever see Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast on Netflix, just know, y'all, they paid me enough money so now I can do my movies. Because that's what I want to have my own movies. And like I said before, if I had 18 million or 20 million, y'all going to get these independent movies at a rapid rate. I'm going to give y'all some of the fire, most lit independent movies y'all ever seen, like real independent movies, like some fire shit too. And some of my ideas y'all will see that I came up with for can Hollywood need to ask us. So telling y'all, you know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Um, so they did a study. Rent is so high that about 40% of New Yorkers that are adults share homes or double up. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, they did a study that rent is so high in New York that about 40% that are adults, who are adults, have to share or double up in their living space. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. You know, it's funny drinking water. I don't know if y'all watched the Atlanta show with Donald Glover, and there was a scene where the lady got pulled over, and the cop was like, "Ma'am, have you been drinking?" And it was a bottle of water, but it was really a thing of vodka. And she was like, "Of course it's." She's like, "Of course it's water. You think it's really this is really alcohol if I drink it like this?" And she downed it, and when she finished, she was like, "Woo!" Her throat was on fire. She was like, "Woo!" That made me think of that drinking the water. Shout out to my dog Cece, or are you, or you already making great movies and they kick down the doors with the cigars like you work for us now, Ash. No, I'm saying like I I need the space to be independent. I was raised on independence. I was raised on independence. There's no amount of money. One time there was, but that was because I was going through a certain situation. But at the end of the day, I didn't do the deal. There was a record deal with a certain company that was like, yeah, we got a couple of momentum on that thing. And I was like, for real, though? You talking to me nice, though? Let me see that. Oh, the number look good. Okay, okay. Y'all gonna own what? Yeah, nah, I'm cool. They were like, what you mean? I was like, yo, I'm too used to being independent. I'd rather share six figures one time than seven figures 15 times. It's simple math. It's simple math. And if I get on y'all nerves, y'all can shut me down. So I'd rather stay independent. You know what I'm saying? So they can always buy the show, but they can never have the recipe. You know what I'm saying? I always got the recipe. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say, CC. You know what I'm saying? See, y'all funny. Y'all laughing at CC in the chat. All right, y'all. So what do y'all think? Let me know what y'all think about that. Rent is so high in New York City that they did a study that over 40% of the adults is sharing or doubling up as far as their living situation. Me personally, I know quite a few people who are, 35 and older that is doubled up, coupled up, booed up, sharing living arrangements. And that's mainly due to the economy. It's all economical. And people rather share bills, which is way more smart. They could control something to the household that they both share. The only downside to that is when you no longer want to be around that person and you really have to make a plan to get away from that person to find yourself in a different situation that you can control as far as your living situation. But other than that, I mean, most people are doing it to basically stretch their dollar. Even if they can afford to live alone, they still choosing not to because they get to save money. Some people is barely saving money. A majority of people is basically living to be broke, even with a shared space, even sharing the bills because of the economy. So I mean, this is not something I could be mad at people for. I mean, this is just what's going on. This is just what's going on. But it's just interesting that back in the day when we was kids and we, the adults in our time, they was making, like when I first started like working, when I was, a kid, a decent job, minimum wage was $8 an hour. But most people, at least for me, I was making like 5.25 an hour, and I'm like, yo, 5.25 ain't too bad. But other people that was making 8.25 or 8.50 or 9.50, it was like, damn, you making good money. But even back then, at that time, rent for a 2 bedroom at that time will run you about $600, and people was paying that. So it's just amazing that people could pay a $600 rent, $500 rent, 2 to 3 bedrooms, making 8.50, 9.50 an hour back then, and you have people making $20 an hour now, and the rent is just ridiculous now. So I mean, at the end of the day, it would be nice that you share a space it would be nice that you like the person that you share space with, but is it a indoor be all? Is it super negative? I mean, it's only negative because you don't have the option to live on your own. You just pairing up. You like we could just match this up and live. So that's all I have to say regarding that. There's no negative to that outside of the fact that the economy is just trash. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Darren Mensah, a quarterback for the Duke University. He signed a huge NIL deal, $4 million worth NIL deal, new deal with Duke, and right after that, on the last day of the transfer portal, tried to get out of the deal by transferring to Miami. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, quarterback Darren Mensah signed a huge $4 million deal with Duke, and on the last day of on the transfer portal, the last day of the transfer portal, he tries to transfer to Miami. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. For me, this quarterback is nice. He's nice, and I'm seeing a trend with Miami that they're going after guys who is do well with their present team, but could take them to the next level if they get a quarterback. They did that with Ward a couple years ago. They did that with Beck. We spoke about him prior, and now they're trying to do this with Darren Mensah. Darren Mensah is a really good quarterback. He helped Duke win the ACC. People forget Miami is in the ACC. Miami ended up in the championship, but they didn't win their conference. It was Duke. So imagine Duke with less talent. It's being led by this kid, what he can do with Miami and all their target talent that they have in Miami. But it's sloppy business. It's sloppy business. If you signed a new deal, you stay. Now, Duke seen this and is not taking this lightly. They're actually suing. They're going to sue Darren Mensah if he's going to try to transfer to Miami because he signed a new deal with them. Operative word, new deal. It was all good a week ago when you signed for $4 million. But now a week later, you want to transfer to this other school because they may pay you more. Now, some people say, well, what's the big deal? The school should just let him transfer. Why if he signed a new deal? He signed the contract. So the lesson in life, when you sign a new deal, you sign a new deal. If there's another opportunity that came about after you signed your deal, that's something you're just going to have to live with and wait next time. It's just that simple. In the real world, if you're working with a company, you're doing well with a company, and they say, hey, we would like to give you a raise, and it's going to be a very substantial raise, and it's going to make you a very rich person. And you say, yo, I bet I'll take the deal. I love those numbers. And then 2 weeks later, you hear that you may get an extra $1 million or extra money elsewhere. And you like, damn. Most people logically would say, like, damn, I should have held out. I should have waited. But you didn't know that situation was going to happen. Now, let's say you tell the current job or current company, all right, I ain't showing up no more. I know I signed that deal, but I ain't showing up no more. I'm showing up to this job. They will sue your ass, and they will have every right to sue you and hold you accountable for your skill set or what you could do for said company based on what was going on at that time on that day. It shouldn't be up to the school, and I don't have sympathy for the school for real. Cause they built the sport off the bloods of young men. Simple and plain. But a deal is a deal. You signed this contract not too long ago. This is not a contract you signed last year and it's outdated. No, they updated this thing. They seen your value and they say, yo, we're gonna put 4 M's on that thing as a college student. I can't imagine myself having $4 million in college. I can, but it's like, whoa, I went crazy with 4,500, let alone $4 million. And this is a true story, okay? $4 million, I can't imagine being 22 and younger with with $4 million. College, it's a whole nother type of stunt. You know what I'm saying? Another type of stunt. But I digress. You still signed the contract with the school. And a couple days later, now you're trying to transfer. Nah, I'm with the school on this. Because you signed the deal, you didn't have to sign it. You could have waited. It's Duke, it's Duke, bro. Like Duke football is not celebrated. Now Duke basketball, that's a whole nother ball game. But Duke football is not a big deal. That's why it was such a big deal that Indiana won the national championship this year in football, because they not known for football. They not. They have the facilities, they have the great branding, but outside of this year, they haven't been known for football. They've been known for basketball. Same as Duke, they known for basketball. So to get a player to see his worth and to pay him as such and that, and now that player signed the deal. It wasn't coerced, anything of that nature, but later want to go to another school. Nah, bring your ass back to North Carolina. You going to play this year. You signed the deal. Simple and plain. So I'm with the school on this. And I think it sets a precedent moving forward that players signing new deals and you securing your future and then want to chase another set of future that could take away somebody else's opportunity when you could have just waited. You could have just waited. And if you'd have did that, you wouldn't have no recourse in your business acumen. You'll be fully good to do what you need to do. If you sign the paper, you are obligated to stick to it until the contract is over. And mind you, these contracts are yearly renewed. So this is $4 million for the year. These are yearly renewed contracts. But if you have enough money to take a lawsuit, well, go ahead and do it. If not, we got to work. We got to work. If you sign the contract, you work. And I'm not going to coddle these college students because they're college students. They're getting paid hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. So there will be correction where there's wrong being done. And this is wrong because it will be wrong for the school to sign him for $4 million and then be like, you know what? We could get this other kid and we could give him the $4 million. And that $4 million, we promise you, we're not going to give you that no more. This kid is better than you. Even though we signed you first, we're going to sign him now. And we're going to take away the $4 million that we said we're going to sign you. Then that would be a problem in itself, right? So I'm agreeing with the school regarding this. Shout out to Yellow in the build. Appreciate you for tapping in. Big badge holder. You already know the vibes. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show if you've done so already. It's a privilege. Yes, for a fact, Malu. I agree with that. These kids ain't even worried about going to the lead anymore. They making mad money now. True. But see, here's the thing regarding that, right? Because what you're saying is accurate, right? Here's the thing, right? It should be some kids that should be chasing this bag. It should be some. And this is what I mean by this, right? Before I even got into music, I played sports. I boxed a little bit, played football and basketball. Cool. Played football all the way to college. Cool. Guys who not going to the NFL should definitely chase that bag. It's going to be the only time in your life that you can make this type of money this quickly. Chase that bag. You're not going to the NFL. You're not. But you're good enough to play college. Some people like, how's that even so? There's players that play college football that won the most coveted award that you could ever win, which is the Heisman Trophy. And they did not play an NFL game. A game. Not preseason, a game. There's a guy by the name of Charlie Ward who was one of the best college quarterbacks ever at Florida State. He ended up playing for the New York Knicks, being a heavy contributor to the New York Knicks for years. But he played both sports in college and football. But because he was an athletic quarterback, because back in the 90s, athletic quarterbacks wasn't a thing. Oh, he could run and throw? Oh yeah, nah, pack him up. We not dealing with that. Now you see that as the prototype. They seen Charlie Ward, he's about 6'2". He could throw that thing, he's fast. Yeah, we don't got no space for him in the NFL. Won the Heisman Trophy. Never played it down in the league. So players that have less talent than Charlie Ward, because Charlie Ward was a talent and he was a victim of his own talent. But there's a whole lot of players who can be successful that's not going to play in the NFL that should get to that cash. But if you're a guy like Jeremiah Smith, if you watch college football, you know who Jeremiah Smith is. If you're a guy like Jeremiah Love, if you watch college football, you know who Jeremiah Love is. If you're a guy and you see Malachi Tony, he's a true freshman. Malachi Tony is playing on Sundays. Guys like that should not be transferring. Should not be transferring at all. So at the end of the day, certain players should chase that bag. Other players, keep it cool. And if you're going to chase the bag knowing you're going to play in the NFL, that's cool too. But it's dirty business if you sign the contract. If you sign the contract and then a week later you like, yeah, nah, I want out of here. Y'all should let me out because y'all should let me out. I want to be out. Not you signed the contract a week ago, bro. We ain't paying you chicken feet. You about to get $4 million. Ask anybody you about to get $4 million to. What? Yeah, I see y'all later. You're going to get your $4 million. So be more strategic. Don't sign a deal and weigh out your options. Play the waiting game. See, the problem is they don't want to play the waiting game because when you sign the $4 million, you set your market. Now, if you play the waiting game, instead of getting $4 million from Duke, you could get, because you paid the waiting game, now a school know you need them. Yeah, we will give you 2.5 million instead of 4 million when you could have capitalized it. So timing is everything too. So if you sign the deal, then your ass better show up for practice. What Penny Hardaway asked Nick Nolte in Blue Chips? Yo, if I leave school with my mom, will she lose her house and her job? He's like, yo, it got to be somebody you could call, coach. Nick Nolte got on the phone. Yeah, he want to know if he left, what's going to happen. You better show up to practice tomorrow. And what Penny do? He showed up to practice the next day. So they got to set precedent with this stuff. And shout out to the Blue Chip. That's a fire movie that was probably before its time, too. Shaq was in that, too. That was a fire movie. They saying facts. He was too small for the league. No, he wasn't. Charlie Ward was 6'2", probably 190 pounds. This is the NFL. They could put weight on anybody. There's something in the NFL called the weight room, and dudes get brolic and get strong. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. He was not too small. He played in the NBA, and Charlie Ward wasn't tall for the NBA, but he wasn't like a little guy neither. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. He was bigger than a lot of NFL players that came behind him. Charlie Ward compared to Kyler Murray, he's a giant, okay? So it was just the time that we played in at that time. Well, not we, but the time that those early 90s, the quarterbacks, the prototypical quarterbacks, they wanted the quarterbacks to be, 6'3", and real, like, Brett Favre looking, and like just real, like, gas station worker type body, you know what I mean? Like, just, yeah, So we can't say he was too small. Can't say that. Can't say that. Because the NFL got the weight room. I agree. You got these older guys coming back to college just to get paid, messing it up for the young boys. I I agree, but don't agree. I agree, but don't agree. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. But again, if you get an offer, it's hard to wait because another one could snatch the contract. Facts. So I understand students feel the pressure to sign. That's a fact. Timing is everything. And that's just business. If you're going to get offered $4 million today, and that's the best offer you, like, let's be real. If you get offered the most money you ever heard of in your life today, you're going to take it. You're going to take it. And it was cool when you took it. Now, a week later, you hear like, damn, they gave you this. We would have gave you this. But you didn't give me this or say this at the time I was about to sign. So I went with this. So it's kind of like F you for like doing it after the fact. You see what I'm saying? So you got to maximize on that. Now, as far as the older kids and the younger guys, the reason why I agree but disagree, I believe all college players should get at least 6 years to play 4 years. But it has to be situational. So what that means is if you're a high school guy, you can get a redshirt year and a medical year added to your 4 years. Because let's be real, if you played and you get hurt, that's a medical year. So I believe in letting guys achieve the 4 years in 6. So if you out of high school, you should get you should get a red shirt and a medical red shirt if you need a medical red shirt. If you need a red shirt, yeah. A guy like Jeremiah Smith, he's not taking no red shirt. He may take a medical if he ever got hurt, which I hope he never does. And I can't stand Ohio because I'm a Michigan guy, but he's such a talent. I would never want to see a talent like that get hurt, and I mean that wholeheartedly. But high school guys who choose to go from high school to college, yeah, they should get the red shirt and a medical red shirt. Now, if you go from JUCO, you should get a medical and a red shirt because now JUCO, you could play 2 years in JUCO and go play another 4 years in college. Cool. But if you're already in college and you get hurt, let's say you get hurt the second year, I don't think you deserve a red shirt medical. It's just like, yo, it is what it is, baby. You see what I'm saying? So I believe that all guys should get the 6 years. And let's keep it real. The only reason why they letting older guys play longer is because of the product. And what that means is if you're an NFL player, you're going to the NFL. If you're not, you're staying in college regardless of age because of the product. Because let's keep it real. The older guys, they would go to a San Jose State, a San Diego State. Most high school guys don't want to go to them type of schools. So they need players to fill up those teams. No harm, no foul. Let's keep it real. Who's going to win on Saturday? A San Jose State team that's filled with 24-year-olds or a Michigan team filled with 22-year-olds? It's Michigan. So NFL guys will always go to the NFL. College guys, it's going to be college guys. Let them make that money. But once guys get like 28, 29, it's like, yo, bro, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Go get a job, man. It's cool, man. Go take that degree and you know what I'm saying? And set that to use. You know what I mean? So that's why I agree, but also disagree on that aspect. So they just changed it to where you could play 9 games. Yeah, see, the 9 games, that right there, I don't agree with. I don't like the 9 games. 4 games, not 3, but 4. If you play the 4, you can still redshirt. 9 games, that's egregious. That is egregious. 4, cool. 9, nah, man, nah. But I also believe it's situational. So if you have a thing on your team where players are super injured and you had to play and you had to burn it out to fulfill a quota, then that could be situational. But 4 games, that's it. You 4 games, you play under 4 games, you can get to red shirt. Damn, bro, I'm from Columbus. Go Bucks. Hey, man, I tell you one thing. I can't. But I'm honest though. I'm honest though. You gotta respect that. I'm honest, bro. Even people from Ohio, I got family in Ohio. They show me love, of course. Like my family, right? And even my Ohio, it's funny. I'm surrounded by a whole lot of Buckeye fans. And every year when that game come around, I come around with that Grinch smile because y'all won this year. But I've been coming around with that Grinch smile for the last 4 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up? You know what I mean? We cool? Like, so, but what makes the Ohio and Michigan rivalry so fire is that there's a respect level. Because Ohio wouldn't be Ohio without Michigan, and Michigan wouldn't be Michigan without Ohio. Like, let's keep it real. And honestly, the only time I really root for y'all is when y'all play against the SEC. I hate the SEC dominance bullshit theory more than I hate y'all. I'm not gonna lie. When y'all played Tennessee last year and y'all was winding them up, I was on the inside, and y'all know how hard it is for a Michigan dude to root for anything Ohio. But I can't stand the SEC, bro, and especially that fake dominance bullshit. Can't stand it. But again, y'all wouldn't be us without us, and we wouldn't be us without y'all. So I hate when Auburn fans and Alabama, oh, our game is more popping than, yo, get out of here. The game is the game. What are we talking about? You crazy? You crazy? So, but shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Still show love to the chat. You know what I'm saying? We got something in common, the SEC. I cannot stand the SEC, bro. I cannot stand them. Like, I'm so much to the point where all the SEC teams want to hire me in college football, all of them. And you know, when you play college football, the SEC, they give them the fire introductions, all the other stuff. I'd rather coach Minnesota. I'd rather coach Purdue. I'd rather coach Northwestern before I take over it, before I look up and I play with Florida and have nothing but, Florida, winning the damn dynasty or whatever. Nah. I play with Florida State, and Florida State plays in the Big Ten. And the only reason I play with Florida State is because Michigan wouldn't hire me. I'm not going to take the Ohio State job, just out of principle. You know what I'm saying? But you get the point that I'm making. All right. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. My pick 6 is in. Or my picks is in, because it wasn't 6 games this week. So for college football, I picked Indiana to beat Miami, and they won 27-21. It was an outstanding game. We spoke about it earlier about how Carson Beck, the quarterback from Miami, didn't have the courage enough to show that type of sportsmanship just by shaking the hands of the Indiana players at the end of the game. But Indiana played such a good game. Miami played such a good game. Their last drive, Miami last drive, I feel like they completely mismanaged. And they should have went to Malachi Tony. Malachi Tony was wide open when Carson Beck threw the pick. I don't understand how you don't go to your best player, but it is what it is, and that's a part of competition. Things happen in the moment, and Indiana was the better team overall. So shout out to Indiana for winning the national championship. This is the 3rd Big Ten team to win a national championship in 3 years. First, it was us, Michigan, undefeated. Second was Ohio State. Third was Indiana, undefeated. So that's 3 years in a row. Big Ten has ruled college football. So I'm just saying. So, hey man, listen, Indiana, great job. But the bigger question for me watching Indiana win, and this is why I'm a big believer that group of 6 teams should be able to play in the college football playoffs. The only team that I felt like was kind of like grossly outmatched was Tulane. Tulane should have been substituted for Notre Dame. But Notre Dame, guess what? Join the conference and you don't have to worry about this shit. Stop being. I can't say the real word that I want to say. Stop being scary and join the conference, preferably the Big Ten. Because in the Big Ten has your oldest rivalries. Your biggest rivalries is against Michigan, USC, Purdue, Northwestern. So now you have your rivalries down pat. You can still play Army, Navy, Air Force, Marshall, cool. But you gotta play in the Big Ten because they the only team that get to play a Big Ten. They get play in the Big Ten in hockey, but play in the ACC in all sports except for football. They get to be independent in football because they scared to play against real competition. They get to pick and choose where they want to play. Now get in a conference and y'all don't ever have to worry about not going to the playoffs. They still should have been in the playoffs. But I love the fact that James Madison was in the playoffs. They should have been. There has to be a space where a group of 16 who is dominant have the ability to line it up to get that chance to play in the playoffs. I'm not saying they should get the top spot, but they should get a spot. So the bigger question for me watching Indiana win is that when I think about that team, Coach Cignetti, who did an amazing job, a masterful job, think about it. Half that team, 30 players to be exact, came from James Madison. This year, James Madison was still in the playoffs. So if you take that James Madison team that was in the playoffs, add the 30 players that played in the national championship with Kirk Cignetti, who was the head coach of James Madison, things could get very scary. It could look very college football like playing a video game. So you have to give certain schools or certain teams the availability when they're dominant to line it up against the blue bloods and the teams that got all the money. So I'm a big proponent of that. So that was like the bigger question that I had regarding that. Because Kirk Cinetti came from James Madison, 30 of his players, and still James Madison still was dominant and made it to the college football playoffs. So can you imagine if that team was combined? Now I've seen quite a few of those players transfer to Colorado. I believe some had transferred to Indiana as well, and a few others had transferred to other places like Texas, if I'm not mistaken. But Colorado got a lot of those James Madison guys from this past year. So it's just going to be very interesting. A school like James Madison that could not only have talent, but have another great coach behind it and refuel that talent. So you got to give schools like James Madison and the teams that are now blue bloods a chance to come up in the world. So so I went with Indiana, and Indiana won that game. What a great game! Shout out to both Indiana and Miami. So for the NFL, first game I called was the Broncos. Well, I already called that already. So my picks for this week, NFL, NFL conference finals, Broncos versus the Patriots. Another great game. This will probably be the best game that we see this weekend. This game is going to be defensively beautiful. High flying hits all over the place. If you're an offensive player, you better buckle your shit up and run really hard. I don't care if you're a dancer. I don't care if you're a finesse. Buckle buckle that helmet up. Put them pads on tight, and be on your A game. Cause both defenses fly to the football and they're gonna hit you. Buckle that helmet up. As much as a great defensive game that I think this would be, the absence of Bo Nix will make a difference for me with the Broncos. So I have the Patriots winning this game. If Bo Nix was playing, I definitely would have Bo Nix winning. He's older, even though he's a young quarterback. Bo Nix is about 26, 27, and I think he would fare better against that Patriots defense than a young quarterback like the Patriots have going against the Broncos. His name is coming to a blank right now, but I know his name. But I trust the veteran quarterback, the older player in that mode. But because the Patriots have more of a complete team, and Bo Nix, that's not Bo Nix. No, Bo Nix is the Broncos quarterback. Uh, oh my God, I can't think of the Patriots quarterback. The Patriots quarterback, they could still win without him doing much, is the point that I'm making. So I have the Patriots winning this game. It will be a close game. It will be defensive. I have this game about 24 to 17. 24 to 17. Next game I'm calling Rams versus the Seahawks. Another great game. This game, I don't believe is going to be like a defensive game. This game is going to be more scores involved. Rams is playing well on offense, a little shaky on defense. You see what Seahawks is doing. You seeing what Seahawks is doing. Again, it comes down to their quarterback play. If Darnell plays well, they play well. If he doesn't, they lose. And I'm gonna roll the dice. I think Darnell is gonna play well. I think that Seahawk defense, they just know how to get critical stops in critical points of the game, and because they're gonna score touchdowns, I don't think the Rams are gonna be able to keep up. And the Rams do not play through their strengths, even though Puka Nacua is their best player. What makes him even more dangerous if the Rams play through the run. They're not going to play through the run. They're going to pass that ball. And because they're going to pass that ball, they're going to lose. So I have the Seahawks winning this game. So my picks for this week, NFL playoffs, I have the Patriots beating the Broncos, and I have the Seahawks beating the Rams. Shout out to the chat. We got something in common. Big Ten is the best conference by far. I say that for a fact. We got the best top-heavy teams, and we got the best mid-level teams. And for the casual people that just be talking about the SEC, the Big Ten, look at the SEC record. Look at the SEC record. Did y'all see LSU play Houston? And Houston is a Big 12 team. And the Big 12 team, Big 12 ain't nothing to be trifled with. They have a history for being good. Like, people forget the Big 12 put belt to ass. Houston dominated LSU. Dominated. And if you've seen the Big Ten to the SEC matchups this year, it's not even close. What are we talking about? The only team that flubbed it up was my team, Michigan. We did lose to Texas. But, I mean, we lost. We had no business losing because we was winning that game. But we had no business losing. But it is what it is. And no, Ohio State lost to Miami. So we flubbed it up. We flubbed it up. Everybody else got smoked from the Big Ten. Big Ten smoked everybody from the SEC. So I agree with you for a fact. Salute Ashley until the next time. Malu, always a great one. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. One of our mods, one of our day ones, one of our big badge holders. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Young Thug is the GOAT, bro. Shout out to V in the building. Okay, so we got some trolls popping in a little late. Shout out to my TikTok because I'm cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment. I'm going to keep this very smooth. This is for the ladies. This is for the ladies. My last Keep the Lie Live was for the dudes. Mainly. Mostly. For the ladies, please stop getting drunk around men you don't know. Ladies, I'm going to say this again. Stop getting drunk around men you don't know. Let this land. Ladies, stop getting drunk around men you don't know. You're putting yourself in a very unbalanced situation and you cannot control the outcome. Do that make sense? You're putting yourself at a disadvantage and you cannot control the outcome. You don't know what people's intentions are. Especially, you don't know the men that you're around. Whether it's on vacation, whether it's at home, whether you're at the local club. Stop getting drunk around men you don't know. You're at a disadvantage and you cannot control the outcome. And that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Shout out to Rowan Jack. What about Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon? I thought I talked about I talked about Nicki Minaj and The Bodyguard. I talked about Nicki Minaj and The Bodyguard. Um the I honestly I wasn't sure that she really dropped the disc record on him. When I seen it, I was like, nah, yo, she didn't do that or whatever. I didn't get a chance to hear it yet. But I'm gonna get a chance to. I thought you meant that when I seen when you talk about Don. I thought you meant The Bodyguard. Now Don Lemon is Lemon is the guy, you know, that's like a anchor man or something like that, right? Yeah. And I wasn't sure because you know when we see the headlines, you know, people make headlines out of anything and you just don't know. You have to do the research on it, right? Like I seen something the other day where they spoke about you know, something with sports about this guy going over here and then you have to do the research and that didn't happen or wasn't said. But that's what I thought you was referring to, Rowan Jack. So that was my mistake. But I'm gonna get more in tune to that. I'm gonna have that for the next show. Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon. But I've seen them speak not positively towards each other. And anytime a rapper got beef with somebody that's not a rapper, it's like, yo, what are we doing? Like, can we really take these people serious? Meaning, like, we gotta stick to the what TLC say? Stick to the rivers and the waters that you used to. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's not beneficial to deal with people that doesn't have effect on our true outcomes in life, whether we successful or not, especially if we're successful. Don Lemon can't control whether Nicki Minaj is successful. It's all on Nicki Minaj. Her decisions is going to dictate whether she's a success or not. And same as Don Lemon, there's nothing that Nicki Minaj could do that's going to change his trajectory, whether he's successful or not. So I don't see anything positive regarding this, but I'm gonna definitely look up what the actual diss record is. And you said it's fire. Yo, because you say it's fire, I'm gonna definitely go tap into it. I thought you meant with The Bodyguard because I didn't realize Nicki Minaj was even in the news like that. She's in the like the stuff with The Bodyguard is huge news because the stuff with The Bodyguard has to happen this week with her house. So I didn't know with the Don. Okay. So I'm gonna definitely go check that out. Man, y'all been amazing as always. Each and every episode, I'm on every Wednesday and every Sunday. And I thank y'all for tuning and tapping and showing major love to the Canada Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. Hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them hearts in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. The show continues to grow, and it can't without y'all. And again, I appreciate y'all support. So again, continue to help the show continue to grow. I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap, so you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also be on the lookout for the new OUV Records app. It will be out soon. It's still being developed, but it's a fire app. The best listening experience that you can have, better than Apple, better than Spotify, and it's going to be exclusive to OUV artists, and it's a lot, and it's a lot of fire music. So make sure y'all be ready for that as well. Next episode, I'll probably do some free giveaways, y'all. Probably do some free giveaways. Why not, right? So make sure y'all show that love and energy. And because our memberships has been growing rapidly, I may do a segment where I'm gonna let somebody from the membership come up and chop it up with old Ash. You know what I'm saying? With your boy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe bring up Rowan Jack to talk about, like, you know, get a little rapping for a segment or something like that, and have a whole good time and have a whole good jokes, because y'all support means the world to me. So, but it's only going to be to the members of the chat. So if you want to have this access, you got to become a member. Also, what else? Also, y'all, again, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not have that Willie Lynch mindset. Do not have the ability to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out for being positive. Do not be a stain. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And y'all already know, man. It's love. I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. I'm out.